Starting on the pole for race 5 of the 2013 HARC Pro Series season would be the 33 car of Peter Saviano. On his outside would be the 69 of Penn Isman. Coming down into just the second turn of the race, third place starter Richard Trelinsky in the 71 car would get to the inside of the 33 and make the pass for the lead. Coming out of the final corner, Peter Saviano would get to the inside of the 71 of Richard Trelinsky and make the pass. This section of the course would be a major passing zone for the entire race as the cars got to top speed near 175-180 miles an hour. Coming into turn 1 and 2, James Davis would get to the inside of Peter Saviano and take the lead for himself with some help from the 54 of Gary Tang. Coming into turn 1 the next lap, Peter Saviano would once again get to the inside of the leader and would take it for himself. At this point in the race, all of the 34 starting cars would be in one big pack. Coming out of the last corner, James Davis, with some help from Damir Bejjanov in the 13 car, would get a huge run on Peter Saviano and get to the inside and would actually battle 3 wide for a little bit. The 33 would be forced back in the pack by Gary Tang. Coming into turn 1, Damir Bejjanov would get a run and dive to the inside of James Davis and take the lead. However, just seconds later, Gary Tang would get to the bottom and would drive right by with some help from the 03 car of James O'Shea. James O'Shea, who was forced to the outside of Gary Tang coming into the singular right turn, that is turn 3 on this course, would actually get a huge run through the corner and would sweep around him to take the lead. James O'Shea would continue to lead for a couple of laps until, Damir Bejjanov got to the inside as we have a tremendous battle for third place on back with Gary Tang, Mark Nutt, Pichu London, and Andreas Allen and Mitch McDonald all battling it out for position. Damir Bejjanov would take the lead. The next lap, James O'Shea would perform the crossover move on Damir Bejjanov and retake the lead in the exact same spot as Damir Bejjanov had done on him in the previous lap. James O'Shea would get way too far in front out of the second and third place cars of Mark Nutt and Mitch McDonald, and they would get a huge run on him coming down the front stretch, and Mark Nutt would take the lead. Shortly afterward, Damir Bejjanov, who started this lap 5th, I think, would take the lead coming down into turn 2 with some help from Pichu London in the 31 car. Turn 1 would once again be a major passing spot as Pichu London would get to the inside of Damir Bejjanov and take the lead. However, Damir Bejjanov would fight him for that spot, and coming into the right turn he would actually get around and retake the lead with some help from the 24 of Mitch McDonald. Damir Bejjanov would get a little bit of a gap on the pack behind, and we have a tremendous battle for second on around 12th place as Zachary Brown, James O'Shea, Mark Nutt, Eric Cesar, Mitch McDonald, and several others all battling it out to try and get up into the top few for as we close in on pit stops. Speaking of pit stops, Leah Walker would make hers the same lap. A couple of laps later, Stephen Henhock, Dixie Norris, Spencer Fullerton, and Robert Moss would all come in for their pit stops. A lap later, we had many cars come in, such as Mark Nutt, Eric Cesar, Nicholas DeFord, Zach Harvick, Penn Isman, Brock McMahon, and a few others. One lap later, many of the leaders would come in. The top 2, in fact, Damir Bejjanov and Andreas Allen. This would leave James O'Shea in the 03 car as the leader. On lap 16, just one lap later, all of the other cars who hadn't pitted yet came in for their only pit stops of the day. This would leave Mitch McDonald as our current leader, with Ilya Bondarenko, Eric Cesar, and Damir Bejjanov quickly approaching. However, James O'Shea would have a really good pit stop and actually get in front of Mitch McDonald before he was able to pass him. However, down the front stretch, Mitch McDonald would be able to get to the inside and would take the lead. Now, just 7 laps to go, we start to see some of the fields coming back together, and we're going to see that they have separated into 2 distinct packs. This is the first pack, and this is the second. As you can see, the first pack just entering turn 4, as now the second pack is. So they are around 6 seconds back. While not in those 2 packs, we only have 2 cars completely off the pace, and those are Penn Isman and current championship leader Leah Walker. So doesn't look like she's going to have another top 5 day. Coming at just 6 laps to go, Alex Tanker would get a run on Mitch McDonald, and with some help from Nicholas DeFort, he would take the lead. A lap later, Mitch McDonald would do the exact same thing back to Alex Tanker. On the exit of turn 1, Nicholas DeFort, Connor Brent, and Mitch McDonald would battle 3 wide for the lead. This would let some of the others like Alex Tanker and Mason Wood catch right back up though. Nicholas DeFort would get a pretty massive lead after the second to last corner, but out of the final corner of the lap, Alex Tanker would be able to get a big run on him and would take the lead back. Coming to 2 laps to go, Mason Wood would try to get a run on the inside, but I don't think he would be able to do so. No, he wouldn't. Mitch McDonald would get pushed to the outside though. And here comes Ilya Bonarenko trying to get 3rd place. Coming to the white flag, we have 3 of our top 5 championship contenders from the Truck Series last year. 1, 2, 3. Alex Tanker, Mason Wood, and Ilya Bonarenko. Now Ilya Bonarenko is shoved back to the top line by Nicholas DeFort. With just, coming out of the second to last corner, Mason Wood would get a huge run on Alex Tanker, and he would get to the inside coming into the last corner. He would push Alex Tanker wide. Here comes Mason Wood around the final turn to the inside. It looks like he's going to make the pass. There he does. Here comes Nicholas DeFort and Connor Brenton and Pichu London though. Can he block both lanes? It looks like he's going to. So Mason Wood will come down to the checkered flag and win his first race of the 2013 HARC Pro Series season. Nicholas DeFort would come across 2nd, 3rd would be Alex Tanker, 4th would be Connor Brenton, and 5th would be Pichu London. On the last lap, Richard Trelinsky would blow a motor and would have to come into the pits, where he would eventually come across the line behind second last place finisher Leah Walker.